Some scenes in One Piece work better than others. That's just the truth. Season 1 has moments that feel rushed, moments that feel perfect, and a few that clearly stand out above everything else. Translating a world of rubbermen and fishmen into reality is a massive risk, and not every creative gamble pays off equally. So in this video, we're ranking 10 major scenes from weakest to best, based on emotion, execution, and how well they represent what One Piece is really about. No hate, no bias, just honest ranking. And the final scene? That one explains why this adaptation actually worked. Luffy's first real fight against Alvida in Episode 1 serves its purpose, but it doesn't offer much more than a basic introduction. It effectively establishes the tone, showing new viewers that combat in this universe is exaggerated and that Luffy is far from an ordinary pirate. However, the scene suffers from a lack of genuine impact. Alvida never feels like a serious obstacle. From the moment the confrontation begins, the outcome is painfully obvious. Luffy isn't tested, challenged, or forced to make a difficult choice. He simply overpowers her with ease and moves on. Because there are no real emotional stakes involved, the fight functions more as a technical demonstration of his rubber powers than a meaningful story beat. It shows us exactly what Luffy can do physically, but reveals almost nothing about his values, his limits, or his inner world. Once the scene ends, it doesn't echo forward into the rest of the season. It's not a bad scene. It clarifies the genre mechanics well, but compared to later moments that explore deep loyalty or personal loss, this fight feels lightweight and ultimately fades from memory. Buggy is easily one of the most entertaining characters in the season. The performance is confident, the design is bold and unsettling. The energy instantly lifts the episode whenever he appears. Every scene with Buggy feels alive. That said, some of the circus comedy moments stretch just a little too long. The jokes work, especially for viewers who are new to the world. The exaggerated chaos fits One Piece's tone, and visually, these scenes are fun to watch. The issue isn't humor, it's balance. In the anime, Buggy always feels dangerous beneath the comedy. You laugh, but there's tension underneath it. In the live-action version, that threat sometimes fades faster than it should. The danger feels controlled. The fear never fully settles. Buggy remains memorable and enjoyable, but the extended comedy slightly weakens the impact of his scenes as turning points in the story. Still good, still fun, just not among the strongest moments. Usopp's storyline is one of the most difficult arcs to translate into live action. The reason is simple. His character is built on gradual growth. Lying, avoiding responsibility, hiding fear. All of that is meant to build slowly, before courage finally shows itself. The live-action version includes every important piece of his story. We see the lies, the insecurity, and the moment where he chooses to stand his ground. What's missing is time. We don't feel the crushing weight of the years of isolation he endured quite as heavily here. The emotional buildup moves quickly, which makes the payoff feel slightly lighter than it should. The moment works logically. You understand his choice, but it doesn't hit as deeply as it could have. Usopp is likable, his intentions are clear, but the emotional connection is still developing. This feels less like a failure and more like a pacing compromise, which is why the scene lands in the lower half of the ranking. This scene serves a very clear purpose. It exists to send a message. Something bigger is coming. Zoro's calm presence, the efficient sword work, and the quiet confidence all work exactly as intended. The choreography is clean, and the scene looks sharp on screen. What it doesn't do is change anything. Zoro isn't challenged, he isn't tested, he isn't forced to reflect. The scene reminds us how skilled he already is, rather than pushing his character forward. As a setup moment, it succeeds. As an emotional beat, it stays neutral. That balance places it firmly in the middle of the list. This is where Netflix makes a smart, understated decision. Instead of turning the Marines into simple villains, the show gives them perspective, especially through Koby. Watching him train, fail, and slowly improve adds a grounded counterpoint to Luffy's journey. Both characters want to change the world, but they approach it from opposite directions. It provides a necessary breath of fresh air amidst the chaotic pirate antics. Luffy chases freedom without rules. Koby believes justice still has structure. These scenes aren't loud, they don't rely on action, but they make the world feel layered, and they give weight to the idea that not every conflict in One Piece is black and white. That subtle depth earns this arc a solid place in the ranking. This fight carried enormous expectations, and overall, Netflix handled it well. Mihawk doesn't raise his voice, he doesn't boast, he barely acknowledges Zoro as a threat. That restraint defines the entire scene. The use of the tiny dagger is a visual insult that lands harder than any dialogue could. Zoro's loss isn't about being physically overpowered. It's about realizing how vast the world truly is. For the first time, he understands that his ambition exists inside something much bigger than himself. Some anime fans may miss the exaggerated scale of the original version, but the emotional core remains intact. And Zoro's vow, his refusal to ever lose again, reshapes his entire path forward. That promise is what makes this scene last. This is one of the most emotionally grounded scenes in the season. There's no action, no villain, no dramatic confrontation, just two people who care deeply about each other and don't know how to say goodbye. Sanji kneels. Zeff turns away. Both hide what they're feeling. The strength of this scene comes from restraint. Nothing is overstated. Nothing is explained too much. It captures the complicated dynamic of a father and son who express love through stubbornness. It feels real because it doesn't try to impress. It simply lets the moment exist. That quiet honesty makes it one of the most human scenes in the entire season. This moment hurts precisely because it isn't dramatic. Nami's decision feels sudden and cold. There's no build-up music, no emotional explanation, just distance. The silence between characters does the work. Confusion replaces trust, and the crew is left questioning what just happened. Netflix avoids spelling out Nami's motivations here, and that choice pays off. It forces the audience to feel the same stinging uncertainty the crew does. It's uncomfortable, it's unsettling, and that's exactly why it works. This scene could have gone wrong in countless ways. Too much dialogue would have ruined it. Overacting would have broken it. Wrong music would have undercut it. Instead, the show keeps it simple. Nami finally reaches her breaking point. She doesn't demand justice or revenge. She admits she can't carry everything alone anymore. It is the moment the walls she built around herself finally come crumbling down. Luffy's response is quiet. No speech, no promise, just the straw hat. That single gesture communicates trust, safety, and belonging all at once. It's one of the clearest examples of the show, understanding One Piece's emotional language. This moment doesn't rely on action. It relies on presence. No jokes, no hesitation, no uncertainty. Each character knows exactly why they're walking forward. The music builds slowly. The footsteps feel deliberate. Every movement carries purpose. It is the visual definition of ride or die, solidifying them as a unit. This is the scene where One Piece stops feeling like an adaptation and starts feeling earned. It's a declaration, not just of loyalty, but of identity. That unity is what defines One Piece, and that's why this scene stands above the rest. One Piece. Season 1 isn't perfect. Some scenes move too fast. Some moments don't land as strongly as they could, but when it truly matters, the show understands what One Piece is about. And if Season 1 can deliver moments like these, the future looks promising. Now, I want to hear from you. Which scene stood out the most for you, and which one didn't work at all? If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe for more One Piece Deep Dives, because this journey has only just begun.